Okay everybody, I'm sure you watched the last video. One of my videos, I was building my barn, getting it up here, got a shed on. Well, ran into a little problem. It felt pretty good after I got started on it, but I'll show you right here. Being a 22 foot span, I do got a little shake in it there, so I'm going to work on that. I'm going to put some triangle bracing on it in the corners, and we'll go through that and show you how I did that. Would have been a lot easier to have done it before I put the mill up, before I assembled everything, but I wasn't sure if that was going to be a problem, so we'll go through a couple steps on how I did that. Okay, what I'm going to do is drop down from the top. I'm going to come down 2 feet, and I'm going to go over 2 feet. So I'm going to be a 24 inches top to bottom. That'll reduce my span to 18 feet with support on either side. So the next thing I did was measure from my 24 inch mark down to my 24 inch mark on the top. Between the two worked out to be 34 inches. That's going to be my inside. I'm going to bring my beam into the log down here. So it's 34 inches to the inside to inside. So next I got my 4x4 beam here, and I'm going to go straight off with a 45-degree angle. Like I said, 2 feet to 2 feet will work right out for 45s. I'll put my mark here. I'm going to square this up. Okay, we got our log marked here. What I'm going to do is pin this thing into the beam. I'm going to cut this triangle block out and this triangle block out, and leave this one sticking out, and this I'll have to chisel out inside the beams for this to go in. As you can see, you can make all these cut with a skill saw, no problem. So this is going to be the tongue that gets inserted into the beam and the joist on top. We measured 34 inches from inside to inside, 2 feet. I'm going to come down here, mark 34 inches. This will give us our other angle. Make sure you go the same way, opposite direction there. That's right on a 34-inch mark there. So we'll start cutting this side out. Okay, there, as you can see, we've got both ends cut. So we're ready, and just for the sake of margin of error, we'll put it up across the 2 lines and mark it, just so we'll know where to cut our notches. We're just going to put this corner right on our line here. See what we got. Big old heavy beam. As you can see here, that's where we're going to have to cut in. Same thing up top. That's where we're going to have to cut our notch in. Okay, I went with 1.25 inches on either side. My log, the cutout's going to be 1.5 inches wide. So next step is to take my skill saw and plunge in right here several times and go as deep as I can with it, and then a hammer and a chisel. Same thing, the top one's fun. Just a little something to start with, hammer and chisel next. I'm not going to show you the whole process here because it does take a little time. Okay, when you get down here to cutting your notch, I just took the little piece that I cut off the end here for the pin that goes in, and I use it for my depth gauge here. So as you can see, I still need to cut a little bit. Yeah, it kind of gives you a reference of how deep you need to chisel out. Okay, as you can see, we got it pretty much flush in there. Get a good shot of it there. So she's right in there. We got a top one where it fits in there good, so we're ready to put our beams in place. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get the last one up. For now, I'm just putting a screw in it, but what I'd like to do is drill me a big dowel hole and put about a 1/2 inch cedar pin in it later. And we're just putting enough together to hold it for now. We'll put a screw in that one and we'll be done. I'll show you what we got. Okay, you saw our bounce test prior. Let's see. A little bit of shake, but she's solid as a rock now. That's all my weight on it. I don't see it moving. I think we got a good solid structure there now. Here's what we got when we're done. There you can see, 45-degree angle. That's a perfect match on either side there. That just gives me a lot more support on my beams here. But that'll work for what we got and what we're doing. Look at that, right down the money on those things. 2 feet. 2 feet from corner to top, 2 feet corner to corner. Worked out 34 inches inside, 42 1/4 outside. If you got any questions, comments, leave your note at the bottom and I'll be glad to answer. Happy building. Enjoy your meal.